Put that on your list now. Make that a priority. Let's prepare for it. Let's do things in advance that maybe we could slow that down, reclaim as many of those good years as you have left.
Away we go traveling.
I did some math in preparing for this video that people in their 50s should probably know about. And essentially, if we are in our mid-50s and you live till the statistical average of 78 for a male in the United States, women get a little bit longer, we've got about 1,200 weeks left, which sounds like a pretty big number until you start breaking it down a little bit and realize we are the freshman class of our elderly years and high school is short. So that time in our 50s and 60s is the best time we have left for doing all the things we wanted to do, whether they're hiking and anything physical, long road trips and, things like that. This is our best time to do that. And we have to start looking at it and preparing for it. Today, we're talking about why we can't waste even one of those weeks and doing all we can in our go-go years to prepare ourselves a little later on for our slow-go years and making our retirement the best it can be. I'm Gary. This is Away We Go Traveling. This video is part of our early retirement series. We've got 3 or 4 previous to this, which we'll link in the description. If you like this, subscribe, and you can see the last one in the series, which come next week, and the previous ones. But we're talking about things that happen in early retirement that I've known about and never really wanted to face. So the 1,200 weeks I talked about in the intro is a lot of time. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot of time. 23-ish years. And that's great. And statistically average, that's how much we'll get. Some of us will get years more. We may have another 500 or 1,000 weeks left in addition to that. But then again, some of us, again, being the average, are going to get significantly less than that. Not knowing where you're going to be in that group, it sort of makes sense to spend some time looking at these years we have, planning them out, and doing all the things you want to do so you don't look back in 20 years and wonder why you didn't do that activity when you had the opportunity. So that 1,200 is the baseline, right, for our statistical average. But I want to talk about a concept called the healthy average life expectancy, the HALE, H-A-L-E. And essentially that is an average that says this is the age at which the average person starts having disabilities of some variety, health challenges of some variety that limits their ability to do things. Now, obviously those limits are going to be different in every case, but for a U.S. male, and again, women are another year higher than this, but for a U.S. male, that average is currently 63. So that 1,200 weeks I talked about gets you to age 78. Our HALE age of 63, if you start at 55, is really about 405 weeks that we have left of this healthiest time we have. Again, women get like another 120, 130. I think they're 525-ish for their healthy lifespan. But that's significantly shorter than that 1,200. And it puts an exclamation point on what we need to be doing with those remaining 400 weeks. So that gap between age 63, again, if we use the statistical averages, 63 and 78, that gap, that 15 years, and it could be shorter, could be longer for any of us. They call that time frame the burden of ill health. You're alive. You can still do a lot of things, but you're dealing with challenges. You've got chronic pain. You've got some illness that requires medication. Maybe you have to have regular hospital visits, or you have to see a doctor on some regular cadence that limits your ability to do, a month-long road trip or to take a transatlantic cruise. And those types of things mean, yeah, that 15 years is productive time, but it's not nearly as productive as this 400 we have coming up. The next 5 to 10 years in our retirement, that is our best time to do all of these things that we've always wanted to do, and now we have time to do. When you decide to retire at an age like 55, and again, some of us younger, some of us a little older, but when you decide to do that and you decide to leave before 65 or before 67, what you're essentially doing is deciding to reclaim as many of those good years as you have left. And if you're lucky enough to get past the age of 63 and not have any sort of disabilities or not have any chronic pain or not, you're one of the lucky ones, and that's great. And if you continue to work, that's great. Just know there is an expiration on that. Every one of us will hit this point at some time in our lives. And all we're trying to say here is, let's look at it. Let's prepare for it. Let's do things in advance that maybe we could slow that down. And even if we can't slow it down, let's knock out all those activities that we wanted to do. So the concept of go-go years and slow-go years and no-go years, you're talking about your go-go years. It depends on when you retire. If you're in your 40s, you've got, your go-go years are probably all the way through your mid-60s, sometime around that HALE age. Then you have your slow-go years where you're still doing things, but you're probably not moving quite as quickly. Let's count that at a HALE age plus maybe 10 or 12, maybe your mid-70s. And now you're in your no-go years where you're probably still up and around, but you're just not thinking about hiking Mount Everest anymore or hiking the Grand Canyon Basin. It's just not on your radar anymore. Those are not things you're going to be interested in doing. So how do we take those activities, the things that we know we want to do, and move those to the left? This time frame is not necessarily about your health. It's about your stamina. We get tired more so than when we were younger. Things are harder to do. You don't recover as fast. So it always makes a lot of sense in this case to take the activities that you're interested in and put those right at the top of your to-do list. In our case, we've retired early and, we're doing this essentially United States road trip in our SUV. And last year we did the entire East Coast driving in our SUV with our 14-year-old dog, Molly. And it was great. We saw amazing places and did amazing things and ate great food. And this year we're going to do a West Coast trip, actually 2 of them. We're going to go west up the northern part, and then we're going to do it again. And we're going to go south, heading out west. But that's the kind of road trip we're probably going to drive 30,000 miles this year, 35,000 miles this year. And that's not something that I necessarily want to do with a bad back when I'm 82. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do that when I can still drive for 6 or 8 hours a day and really shrug it off like it's not that big of a deal. That's going to get harder as we get older. So we're prioritizing these long road trips and these long trips and these things that take a lot of stamina now. When we go out west, we're adding in a whole bunch of hiking, a lot of outdoor activities. And those are things you can't necessarily do when you get older. So we're putting those on our front burner. So in your case, take a look at the high intensity activities, your hiking and if you want to run a marathon or if you want to do some very long travel, long international flights or extended time periods overseas, where there's going to be more of a tax on you. Move that stuff, put that on your list now. Put that on the 2026 to 2030 list. And save all the low intensity activities, the cruising and the nice relaxing river cruises and, bus tours going to a state that's sort of, built in for the people that are older, staying in places for long periods of time that you're comfortable with. Save those for later. You can do those in your later go-go years or your slow-go years just as easily as you can now. Move all that other stuff up to the front of your retirement. Put that retirement date on paper, or if you're already retired, start reorganizing what you're looking at and find a way to do some of those activities that you can only do now. We never know. That HALE date, it's 63 on average, but you never know when it slides left and it's tomorrow. It could be tomorrow for me. I don't know. Fortunately, so far, Kara and I are both super healthy, and we're going to continue doing all these hard things while we still can. All right, so the next part, we're talking about our health. And if any of the men that are watching are anything like me and try to avoid doctors at all costs, we should probably stop doing that. There's things that we should take care of in our 50s because the things we take care of in our 50s do not affect us as much in our 60s and 70s. So we lose on average about 1% of our muscle mass every year after 50. So that means some type of resistance training, whether it's lifting weights, elastic bands, even body weight exercises, those are almost non-negotiables. You have to do things to keep your joints used to the weight you are. Try to keep your weight down as much as you can. Exercise as much as you can. Do a little bit of that resistance training. build up some of that muscle strength that you're losing. Give yourself an opportunity to remain as young physically as you can, so that way you have the strength and stamina to continue doing these tasks and to continue doing things, well into your 60s, rather than hitting that HALE age and saying, oh, well, I'm kind of done. I really can't do anything more because my knees just can't support it. I didn't take care of my legs in my 50s. In addition to our little bit of weight training, a little bit of resistance training, that'd be weight training, any type of resistance training, we should be doing cardiovascular training as well. If you ever look into the concept of VO2 max, that's a significant predictor of long-term health. And the way we increase that is by doing some sort of cardio. And you don't have to be running every day, but we should be out walking every day. We should do some type of, activity that we get out and get our heart rate up just a little bit every day. And whether it's the 10,000 steps concept or you just go out and walk a mile every day, getting out and moving your joints and getting your heart rate up just a little bit is going to go a long way in taking care of ourselves and extending our ability to be healthy well into our 60s as compared to just sitting on the couch and letting all these health problems come to us. In addition to that, as I mentioned with the doctors, maybe you should go to the doctor and have a yearly blood panel done. See if there's anything that we need to look at, any medications we should be on now to try to head off some problems. I have avoided that a lot of my life. I've really stopped trying to avoid things, and I try to actively, go to the doctor now, get this blood work done, get things checked out, so I'm not being surprised by something 10 years from now that I could have caught significantly earlier. I had to turn a little, the sun was in my eyes. Thank you, Mr. Sun. You may never have been an athlete your whole life, but start thinking of yourself as that. Do a little bit of training, whether it's a walk a day, whether it's your resistance training. Do a little bit every day. Make that a priority. Start looking at these things that might sneak up on you and get out in front of them. Take care of yourself while you still have the time to take care of yourself. The adolescence of our elder years is a true gift, and it has an expiration date for all of us. We don't know what it is, but it definitely has one. So everything you do today, every hike you take, every doctor visit where you get something corrected, every resistance band you stretch, every step you take is essentially putting a deposit in the bank for your later life and being able to continue to do fun things. If we've got 600 hours left of our healthy, active life, what's the one thing that you'd like to put on your list to try to do? If you like this video, please like it. If you want to see the rest of the upcoming, go ahead and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.